Cop Block Radio is filmed live in special locations across the country. All co-hosts are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Hey, what's up, guys?
Woo! What's up? Hey, I am Matt of Carbon County Cop Block.
I am Severin Freeman from Lehigh Valley Cop Block.
I am Scott Marshall from the Oath Accountability Project.
Rick Gonzalez, Allentown Cop Block. What's up, guys?
What's up?
How's it going?
We got a lot to talk about tonight. It is a beautiful June 8th, 2016. We are halfway through the years, guys.
Yeah, right. This is
Anybody know
really ticking along.
yet?
What was that?
What's the death toll up to? Come on, we're halfway.
I think we just
It was
looked at
like-
it on Monday. It was like 428.
I think it was 448.
Are you serious? 448 people have been killed by police so far this year?
Yes.
Oh my God!
Let's see.
They're on pace.
They're going for the record, our guys. They're going
Yep.
for the record.
We haven't even made it to July.
But that was 2 days ago. So 2 more days.
455.
Yeah,
455.
So if it was 448 when we looked, and we can even go back and reference that later on Monday for our Monday show. We talked about it and even showed it, and I'm pretty sure that actually Rick might be right. So that would be another 7 people killed
Wow.
in 2 days.
Unbelievable, guys. That's an average of 3 people a day dying, right?
Yeah,
About
and
that.
the most recent Willis Walker Jr., 49 of Virginia gunshot, just in case if anybody's wondering.
Do you guys, I know at one point, I think, Scott, you used to have an app that would alert you each time somebody died.
Oh, that was Matt.
Yeah, I had that. It was an app. It's called what was it? I think it was like absence
Yeah.
abstained or something like
Absence or something like that. You had it right.
that.
I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, absence abstained, and it would text you every time that an officer reported shooting had happened. So, or officer reported death rather.
Turning off your phone because it was just too much, right?
Yeah, dude, like, it doesn't really, like, you kind of ignore the fact of what it would not ignore, but kind of get desensitized to it when you're reading stories and stuff like that. But when you're just walking down the street and your phone starts going off and 2 or 3 names download, you're like, holy shit. And then on top of that, when you're looking at, and we were doing a piece for a while and reading off the names, but then when I'm reading 15 to 25 names a week, dude, I was just getting so depressed off of just knowing that
Killed
I
by
couldn't
police.
continue.
Killed by police.net is reporting 500.
Well, I sleep comfortably at night knowing that the police don't have to have such a guilty conscience that weighs on them, because it doesn't. They don't care. They feel that
Just doing their job, remember?
Yeah.
everything is justified and it's all good, and they even throw a party when one of them drops one, and like they're considered a hero. Like, oh
Well,
yeah,
don't they get tattoos too?
yeah.
Yep.
Yo, you guys
See-
are gonna have to hold on one second. There's a big spider on my wall that I have to kill, and it just
Well, while that's going on, why don't we tell a little bit about what happened with everybody this weekend? Why don't we start off with the lighter of the stories? And Scott, you actually picked up one of the police scanners off of Severin Freeman that he was talking about last
not
week.
even cool. Like, seriously, there was a big spider, like big, just crawling, just chilling, crawling across my wall. My cats are fired. They now have missed a mouse and a giant spider. Seriously, this.
Yeah, those aren't cats; those are just window dressings.
All right, what were you saying? Sorry to jump in. Like that.
Okay, well, I grabbed a police scanner from Severin over the weekend at Rick's Allentown Cop Block meetup,
Which we
and
will definitely get into in a second.
let's see, I want to say it was Monday. I was on my lunch break, and I was coming home from lunch, and I get behind a silver pickup truck, and it has fraternal order police license plates, and it runs the stop sign, and then it gets on a road 30 miles per hour, takes the fuck off, and like gets way out of my sight. But I get the license plate, before it gets out of my sight, and I'm thinking, wonder what'll happen if I call it in. So I used the voice commands on my phone to call the state police. And I was like, yeah, I saw this erratic driver. And, snitching's bad, by the way, but this was an experiment. I was like, there's an erratic driver. And I was like, it had a little F and a little P on the license plate. And then I read the numbers to him. And I gave him an exact location. Well, when it came out over the police scanner, they gave a wrong location and then said registration unknown.
Wow.
Yeah, so I called back and I was like, yeah, I gave you the registration. Here it is. Like, I'm listening on the scanner, so you should put it out this time. And the person's like, oh, well, we give that information to the county and they send it out. So I'm like, all right, that's fair, but here it is. I know for sure. Put it out there. And it comes back across, and she's like, that silver pickup truck is going to be FOP plates. And the cop that responds, I swear to God, says, is there a victim?
He got some fucking nerve.
Right.
He said, is there a victim? And then she goes, I'll call you with the details. Like,
She knew you were listening.
yeah.
Oh,
That's some hypocritical bullshit right there. These people will storm into your house for smoking a plant when there is no victim involved, but they've got no problem just letting one of theirs go if there's no victim.
one of my favorite videos I saw recently was from New Hampshire Regional Cop Block. Did you guys all see this video where they're listening on the police scanner and they drive past a cop and they start talking trash on the police scanner?
No,
I seen that one. That was kind of.
It was pretty funny. They're using the police scanner to talk trash on people. Oh, the cop blockers are in town. Watch out. Da, da, da. You should go check out that video. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to check that out over the break.
So,
Those of you listening on LRN.FM, don't forget that if you want to see the stuff that happens while we're on commercial, hop on over to the YouTube channel, Cop Block Radio Show, and check us out live there to see what happens in between the breaks. So.
Sorry about that. I had to adjust something here.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. Now was that J.P. Freeman over there at New Hampshire Regional?
Yes, it was J.P. Freeman at New Hampshire Regional Cop Block.
Wow, Severin, your audio is.
Yeah, your audio just spiked through the roof.
I had to turn it up.
Yeah, well, you turn it up so loud I can hear it.
Is everything clear now, Ian?
Yes.
For you, but when we talk, I can hear myself.
It's pretty bad.
It's what?
It's pretty bad. We can hear the feedback.
Sorry, listeners. As you know, it's our professionalism that gets us through.
Isn't that what Dio would say?
Absolutely.
We miss you, bud.
Do I sound okay now?
Yes.
Say another thing.
You sound good, but we can still kind of hear the muffled. But it's fine. Whatever. So that was my interaction. I can't believe that they would do that.
They got some nerve to say that. I think it's called police courtesy.
Well, I think it's what it was is they knew that it was me calling because, I mean, it's me and they know me by now. I often call them just to ask if they're doing checkpoints, and they never tell me. They're just like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, can you find somebody that does? And they're like, no. And they hang up on me. So they know it's me. I try to be professional with them, and they choose to act like children. So.
Which, guys, if you've never called to ask if they're running a checkpoint, it's kind of fun because you get some really interesting responses. It takes them so far off guard.
Be public knowledge. They're supposed to actually publish it.
Yep.
Yeah. But who buys the little newspaper that comes out in town every day to look to flip to the back to see their little advertisement? Hey, we're having a checkpoint.
Well, we're going to be right back with more Cop Block Radio and more of our interactions with police during our meetup with Allentown Cop Block. We'll be right back.
Cop Block Radio.
Cop Block Radio.
All right, we gotta get this audio situation fixed.
Yeah.
Now I looked over and there was knobs turned down.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Okay,
Check.
I can't hear myself anymore.
Check. Yeah, loving it. Okay.
Check. Okay.
Hey, somebody load up that video from JP. I want to see that.
Oh, hold on a minute. I gotta go to.
I saw a different video the other day where somebody was sitting in a parking lot and the cops came up to him. It was like 4 in the morning, and over the radio, you read like the registration over the radio. They said, "Be advised, you will be filmed." Like you could hear the cops' radio, and it was like, "What?"
I got it right here.
I mean, aren't they supposed to act without prejudice? Like, shouldn't it be illegal that they would have to give that information? Like, you're going to be filmed, like that just automatically.
My microphone.
It automatically creates prejudice. Like,
Okay. Sorry guys, I'm on with Ian. He's testing our sound.
test 1 2.
Hi, Ian.
There you go, man.
My voice come through so nice and clear for you? I hope it does. Do you like my sexy voice?
So, mic check 1 2. I want to give out a shout out to the Shire. What up, King, New Hampshire?
How does my sound? Do I sound clear? Testing 1 2 1 2 3.
Testing.
Testing 1 2.
Check. Mic check.
He said much better. All right, cool.
Whoa.
Yes.
Test 1 2.
Test. Microphone check.
Anybody who actually tuned in off of LRN is like, did I really just tune in to see a sound check?
Are we back?
No, not yet.
Hold on. 1 2. Testing 1 2 3.
1 2 3.
Let me see if I adjust it.
Uh-oh. This is where it happens.
How about now? A little better.
Wait. Say more than just two words.
I sound good now, Ian? Okay. He said everything's good now.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. You go.
So we got a lot of voices on air tonight, so let's make sure that every time we come back off a commercial break, we introduce ourselves.
So Rick sent over the video. Do we have enough time?
We're about to be coming back.
Yeah.
I think the first thing we're gonna come back to is the Bethlehem cop.
Bethlehem or Catasauqua? Wait, which? Oh, the Bethlehem cop that.
We should do the Catasauqua one first.
Yeah, let's do that.
Or do you want to just roll the weekend in chronological order?
I'm gonna forget stuff.
Okay, so yeah, why don't we go with Caddy first?
All right. We are back.
Welcome.
Severin Freeman from Lehigh Valley Cop Block.
This is Matt Taylor of Carbon County Cop Block.
This is Scott Marshall of the Oath Accountability Project.
Rick Gonzalez, Allentown Cop Block.
We all have some really cool shirts on tonight. That you're not fitting it.
Whoa, okay? You can't talk shit on the pinstripes, okay?
All right, Matt's pimping, but we're representing. We're making a statement with our shirts. And if you like our shirts, you can get them at copblock.org/store. There are sizes, different styles. There are pants. There are T-shirts. There are bumper stickers. Whatever you need, whatever you want to use to make a statement. It's all there, and it supports the Cop Block network. So get over there and give it a shot, and send Dio a message when you do it, because Dio runs the Cop Block store. So before we cut off, we were talking about our interactions over the week, and we had plenty of them to talk about. When we left off, we were about to go to Rick to some heartbreaking, turned positive news out of Catasauqua. Rick, what happened over the week?
Well, my wife's daughter has a dog that she's been raising, and it was staying at her kid's father's house. That his house, he has it in Catasauqua, and it was in the yard in a big tall fence where it couldn't get out. So the neighbor decided to call the cops because it was chewing on the fence. Can you believe that?
Chewing on. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, listening to that police scanner, I hear all kinds of pointless calls all day.
I heard somebody call the cops for somebody walking a dog without a leash. So,
Oh yeah.
so you hear some stuff.
No,
Like,
the other day I heard a call come in that somebody kept calling the cops and telling them to come fix his phone.
fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
they do get called out for a lot of business. There's probably one or two calls a night that are actually worth any kind of money for them to respond to. The rest of them are all harassment and jokes.
So check this out. So when they show up, animal control officer shows up with the police. Dog's behind the fence in his yard, in his own property. So they choose to break in to try to get the dog. So the dog, out of fear, reacts. And they shoot it twice in the back.
Wow.
Damn, dude. Like, okay, wait. So time out. Didn't we talk about these guys just like 2 months back for shooting a cat as well?
Yeah, same police department, different cop.
Man, so they're reckless with animals out there in
Well,
Caddy.
we just got
Maybe it's their guns that they're reckless with.
we just got the news. It's on Lehigh Valley Cop Block of the DA's press conference blaming the victims of the cat shooting.
Oh, they try to blame my wife's daughter. They try to press assault charges on her because the dog allegedly got aggressive. And I saw the dog when it came out of the hospital, and the dog was friendly, happy to be around strangers.
I saw that video too. That dog looked like a normal, everyday, like full loving pit bull, and that's all I've ever seen out of pit bulls in my life. In my experience, I've known lots of pit bulls, and they're big, giant babies. That's what they are. They just want to lick you to death and wag their tail and play.
I have one. That's exactly what he does all day. But Rick, I saw that video, and now you don't know that dog very well, right?
No, I don't. That's the first time I got close to that dog. I've seen it, but
okay,
it's
so
the first time I pet it.
In this video, Rick just walks right up and starts petting this dog. And now, if this was a violent and vicious dog, don't you think it would have reacted bad to another stranger walking up after one just shot it twice?
Yeah, don't you think if it was any sort of bad, it would have some sort of PTSD from being shot?
I would understand if it did.
But, the morning call likes to lie. Yes, I said it. The morning call. You guys lie about your stories. You don't tell the truth.
Well, that's unfortunately, Rick. That's a lot of mainstream media. They like to twist it to go into the cops' favor, so that they can have an easy case and easy time. Because we don't know their lives, and it's hard for them. So they give them an easy time. They take their back from the beginning, so public opinion is on their side, and then they turn the victim into the perpetrator.
Yep.
Yeah, which is a damn shame.
Well, I'm so happy this dog survived. To me, what I saw was that dog was probably really confused. Like, what just happened to me? Its only experience was probably loving of people. It probably didn't even really understand what happened to it. That's why it's still friendly.
And, when you look at this poor dog, there's a gash where they had to go in and do surgery, and it is easily about 8 to 9 inches long. It's a massive gash on its back.
Well, if the dog's owners are out there and listening, please message the Cop Block Radio Show. I'd love to put your story up on copblock.org, but I just need to speak with you, get your side of things, and get your consent to do that, because I'm not going to put your story out there without your okay. But we will sit here and talk about it because it was on the news. And outrageous, and it hit close to home for Rick.
Yep.
I would love to hear your side of things if the owner's out there. So
But right there, we sit there and we say to the cop suckers who sit back and say, oh, well, it won't happen to me, it won't happen to me. It's just a matter of time. I mean, we sit here and we do this shit day in and day out. And Rick, you've been cop blocking now in this area for, what, a year and a half?
Actually, a little more than that, but it's yeah, just about right.
And
About a year.
you think about how many different people you've interacted with and how many different stories you've also read about animals being shot. And then and I know we've all said to the cop suckers out there that, it's just a matter of time, and lo and behold, here's Rick right there. I mean, this is the same kind of story that goes nationwide about cops shooting animals for no damn reason. And it just shows you, just eventually you're going to be one of their numbers. So I don't stop supporting them and wake the fuck up.
I'd be interested to know how much all the police in the nation collectively spent on ammunition every year.
that'd be an interesting number. Well, we know that they shoot a lot. They have their own private ranges usually, don't they?
Yeah.
There's actually a good chance that you would be able to do that if you did a FOIA request to the FTA.
Probably actually just do it to your local police department and find out how much your own town has spent.
Well, I think you were thinking something a little on the larger scale, right, Scott?
Yeah, but I mean, you could go small scale with it and then, get an average of, the areas and then their populations and department sizes. You could get all scientific with it. Nothing that I really care to get into. But there's an idea for one of you, maybe the Guardian or something, Anyway,
Yeah, I actually had a positive experience for once with an information request. Instead of it being one of my contacts with police this week, it wasn't. I went and I filed an information request on my my ticket for that sign. I wanted all the information on the sign. I wanted to see how much the city paid when they voted to put it in, and every ticket written as a result of that sign. And surprisingly enough, they called me within 2 days and said, your information is ready. It was free of charge. It's on the C-Day. Come pick it up.
What? Free of charge?
That never happens. But I guess they finally had enough of me that they realized that if they just hurry up and deal with me, I'll be gone again. We'll be right back. It's the truth. City Hall has not had to deal with me for months, and they were probably very grateful because I put them on blast big time with protests and news reports and articles.
Nah, you know what? They're probably like, we just don't want this motherfucker to pay in pennies again.
Well, that will be coming. If I get guilty, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
And once the county can finally figure out how much I owe them in extortion money, I'm going to pay them in pennies every time. I'm going to do a minimum payment thing, like $30 a month, and then pay them in $30 in pennies every month.
See, as much as the penny thing cracks me up, I think if you're going to do something like that, why just keep it to one solid denomination where they can count it real quick and be done? Change that shit up.
Well, I'll get some nickels and some dimes then. No quarters.
Yeah.
No quarters.
Add a Sacagawea or two in there. I mean, just be spiteful.
Get a Sacagawea, and then what was the other one? The one that wasn't gold that was before it that they tried to get out? Susan B. Anthony.
Yeah.
Throw a couple Susan B. Anthony's in there.
Get a Kennedy in there too.
A $2 bill, just whatever. Just try to get some random denominations and
exactly.
Right back. Are you guys gonna talk, or do you want me to play commercials?
We'll talk.
We'll talk.
Yeah, good talk.
Oh man.
So, oh man. Oh yeah. Oh.
Don't just, dude. Are you over there making dad noises?
Ugh.
Who? Me?
Yeah, you.
Dad noises.
Nah.
Dude, you were totally over there making dad noises. I've caught myself making dad noises at work where I'm just sitting there. I sit down after like a rush and I just ugh.
I've been trying to cut out the habit of grunting when I sit down or stand up because
It's the
I
start.
feel it's the start.
Yeah.
My dad's starting to do that thing where he hums when he breathes.
Oh, does he like? Does it just like a light whistle?
No, it's just like a light.
Your dad must snore like a bear.
And it's like, you're humming, right? Oh, my bad. Like, can you divert the air to a different?
Hey, look at it this way though. You don't have to buy an ambient noise machine.
Oh my God! Did you guys see that thing out of Oklahoma where they're taking people's take civil asset forfeiture straight out of people's bank accounts?
Oh yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
seen
yeah,
that.
yeah.
What the fuck is
I
that?
thought they ruled that was illegal. This the civil forfeiture.
Well, they did, and then they found a loophole and brought it right the fuck back. Like,
Of course they did.
so,
Scumbags.
yeah.
They just like to fucking steal from people.
The
Fuck.
government is literally stealing people's money.
How fucking dare them? How dare you motherfuckers do that shit? Like,
Well, I mean, think of it.
I'll put up a fight and a half. Like, damn it, if I'm on my way home from work and the motherfucker and these fucking pigs pull me over and I just made a good ton of cash from busting my ass from work, I'll be fucking damned if a cop's gonna tell me, well, we need to check if it's really yours. Like, come on now.
Man, they'll take it for even less reasons than that. Just be like, they'll be like, you're Latino. We think that you might be using this for drugs.
Ugh.
We're coming back
Okay.
in 10 seconds.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Yeah. I guess that 10 seconds was a really fast 10 seconds.
Block radio.
Yeah. Cop Block Radio.
Yeah.
Block radio.
So, anyways, I am Matt of Carbon County Cop Block.
I'm Severin Freeman of Lehigh Valley Cop Block.
I am Scott Marshall of the Oath Accountability Project.
Rick Gonzalez, Allentown Cop Block. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
What's up? We're all broadcasting from our mom's basement eating Hot Pockets.
Yeah. Eating the Hot Pockets and
More Hot
and I-
Pockets! Bucket!
Mountain Dew. Don't forget about the Mountain Dew.
Oh, yeah.
Every time now, when a troll tells me I'm in my parents' basement, I picture that meme where the kid's eating. He's like, "Not now, Mom. I'm being a badass on the internet."
Or the one where the guy's wearing the Guy Fawkes mask, and then it's like dark in his room, and all you can see is the mask, and then the light comes on, and dude's mom comes in with a plate of food, and he takes off the mask, and he's like, "Mom, what the fuck?"
I'm recording an anonymous video.
That's so funny. Well, before we got out, we were talking about the dog in Catasauqua being killed. Were we done with that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. Being shot. And I don't think we were done with that because we didn't get to the good news of that story, is that the dog did survive and is healthy and is doing well right now.
Well, I think we
Yes.
got to that point when we were talking about the fact that Rick was petting it, the next day.
Yeah.
I think they had come to the conclusion that the dog survived.
Can't even kill a dog.
I mean, you could pet a dead dog, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I was thinking of setting up a protest just to go out there in Cady Police Station and just express my.
I want to get a dog outfit.
we're gonna get.
Yeah, right. Show up there with a dog outfit, they might just start shooting again. Fucking cowards.
Lehigh Valley Cop Block's next viral video.
Like, we got another one.
Trolling the police in a cop unit or in a dog unit outfit.
Get like you in a dog outfit and Rick in a cat outfit and just go stand out there and be like, were we really all that dangerous?
I gotta be the cat.
No, you guys should wear
The smaller
them.
one.
Wear the dog and the cat, and then also put like a fake bulletproof vest on over.
Oh yeah,
and then hands up, don't shoot, or paws up, don't shoot.
I could,
No, maybe that's a little too far.
or maybe it's not far enough.
But honestly,
Maybe it's not.
there's been several large protests and movements started over the killing of our animals, but nothing ever changes. It's just an ongoing issue that just, as we see, hits us right close to home. That they're just shooting our pets left and right. It really is happening in real life. This is no exaggeration.
Yes.
I would kind of be interested to see on just, I mean, obviously dogs are going to be the main animal shot by police, but I'd be kind of interested to see on just how many animals and like breeds that they just decide is a threat. Like how many horses they have put down, how many snakes have they shot, how many parakeets have freaked an officer out and been shot. Like,
Yeah, I would really love this pet statistic myself, because we already in our local town is that Catasauqua town killed a cat not too long ago. So, so we know that it's not just dogs. I wonder if like it's ever been a turtle or something stupid like a tiny
exactly.
hamster shot in the hamster ball like it was coming right for him.
Did you see the video I posted with the cop on top of his police car because he's scared of 2 chihuahuas? You gotta go on my page and watch that video. It's fucking hilarious.
Check that out after the show.
He's calling in for backup.
Really? Was it real or was it a?
It was actually real. Actually, the police officer shared the video from his personal Facebook page.
Well,
Maybe it's a PR stunt.
You know what? I can't really laugh at that because if you saw what happened when a mouse was in my house the other day, it was. We really should have videotaped it because it was something that would have gone viral. Me, as big as I am, standing on a kitchen chair with a box trying to catch this thing.
What did you think it was going to do to you?
Was it going to hurt you?
It was going to bite my toe and give me AIDS or something. I
don't think that's how any of that works.
Is that where you contract the HIV virus?
I don't know.
Did the CIA change its tactics up with AIDS?
And then here's the messed up part, though. When the thing finally did stop and looked at us, both me and my wife stopped screaming and went, "Oh, it is kind of cute."
But did not get down from your perch.
No, we both were terrified when it ran straight toward us after that.
So, I know this is way off topic. I know it's way off topic.
No, I caught that thing. I kept it alive and I took it outside in a box. Okay, I could have easily quickly.
Yeah, calm down, Peter.
That's why I was jumping all around. I didn't want to accidentally kill it or jump on it or anything like that. Like it was quick. It was zooming back and forth through our kitchen.
I have too many animals in my house. If that would have tried to have made its way into public, the public.
Once again, cat fail, dude. I got 2 cats in my small house. They should have been all over that. They saw it. They chased it, but it outran them, and they were like too dumb to realize where it went.
Okay, now that we are done, basically. Having Martha Stewart's podcast, why don't we get over and talk to Rick Gonzalez about what happened to him, what was it, Thursday night?
Yes, Thursday night.
The meetup.
Yeah.
It was the first night of our meetup.
Yeah, pretty interesting, too.
I had left by this point, but...
Yeah. I think you had to go pick
up more interesting.
But, yeah, we decided to take a break and just chill out for like 5 minutes and listen to the scanner. And we heard a car stop like less than 4 minutes from where we was at. So we showed up there, just as it happened, and I began filming. There was one police car across the street watching the traffic stop, and I stand right next to the officer where he could see me. About 7 feet from his vehicle.
It's important to say this officer was sitting where he was just watching their back. The actual traffic stop was across the street. That's where the scene was. That's where the actual scene was. You were very far away from the scene, standing where that cop was.
Yes.
Minding your own business, by the way.
Your own business, and you're standing in the grass. You were nowhere near this guy. You're standing in the grass. You're perfectly within your rights. It was a public parking lot. It was a store. You're standing in the grass. You're just standing there quietly filming. And
And he begins to say, "Hey, what are you doing?" Like now, for a cop to say, "Hey, what are you
Well,
doing?" What the fuck does it look like I'm doing? You see me
well,
with a phone in my hand recording.
not
let's
to
let's
You know,
let's let's break this down. Let's break this down even better. I mean, the cop wasn't even like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
He
He
was like,
was like, "Yo,
"Yo,
yo."
are you a
yeah,
videographer?"
and then
Yeah,
starts laughing. You know, like
like he was straight up confrontational the second he started talking to you.
and you did
and
the thing, Rick. You kept your mouth shut. You didn't engage him. You kept your eyes on the traffic stop.
yep, and that's what pissed him off.
Yeah,
Cause I didn't.
bully brain kicked in.
Yeah, bully brain kicked in. Then he starts claiming, "I don't want you over my right shoulder. Go stand back over there." And I continue to ignore him. The
Wait,
first,
and you were on his left side, by the way, weren't you?
yes, I
Yep.
was on his left side.
He was sitting
And
inside of his cruiser at this point, an SUV, and to be over his right shoulder, Rick would have had to have been in the back of the vehicle and over his shoulder. Now, it's not like he just accidentally said this once. He states that Rick was over his shoulder, his right shoulder, multiple times in this.
And not in the like he says it separate times. Now, is what I'm thinking is he thought of that like when did he start to say it? Before or after he got out of the car?
After.
uh, yeah,
If it
Right
was
when he gets out of the
after,
car.
I think
if it was after, it was he thought of it right then, and he's facing you and thinking right shoulder, and
Yep.
that's why he kept saying it, and he didn't think about.
We're gonna cut to a commercial break. We're gonna be right back with more of this and some more stories. This is Cop Block Radio.
Cop Block Radio.
Top Block Radio.
All right, we're out.
So I didn't even think about that, Scott. That's a great point. Like that shows how uneducated this guy really is. The fact that he couldn't even, make the connection to the
adjustments.
fact that he had turned around and therefore it would be the opposite. Which means that he obviously isn't a critical thinker. Which means that in a light situation like that, he can't even keep the facts straight. How badly does he butcher it when he's actually got to or has something distracting him?
Here's what really concerned me about the whole thing. And he didn't realize that me and Junior were there. He only saw Rick to begin with. Me and Junior were back in the dark by my car filming. Rick.
Yeah.
Once he engaged Rick, that's what we were focused on. When he got out of that car, he went straight for Rick with his flashlight up. He was ready to beat the shit out of Rick, I think. And then he noticed, oh shit, there's 3 of them. And they all have cameras.
Yeah, I
I
was.
think he was going to grab Rick, rough him up a little bit, and arrest him and on some trumped up obstruction charges.
And I wonder how many other people he arrested that was his
Exactly,
innocent.
yeah. How often has this guy done this to somebody? Because there was 3 cameras on scene and 3 people who are used to this. How often has he intimidated somebody who doesn't know?
Yeah.
That's scary, man.
We're
That's
on break
why-
right now, right?
Yeah,
That's why I don't like to cop block alone.
Yeah, I won't recommend car blocking alone.
for live streaming.
I mean, live stream. If you are cop blocking alone, live stream. I do it sometimes. And my camera setup's a bit complicated, so it would take me a minute to get to the live streaming point, but it's just scary. I don't know.
What about just right from your cell phone to Facebook?
I mean, yeah, I can do that. That's quick, but my personal camera setup, it's 2 cameras, and I have to go through a couple settings to get, like, the way that the company that made it designed the software, I'm not too happy with. So it is what it is. I think I'm gonna get a different one and then just use that one as a dashboard camera. And then I can have 2, and I can put one in the camper shell when I go through checkpoints, so I can have 2 points of view.
I have my front and my back camera on my car.
Yeah, I just love that 360 camera because I can put it right up there by the visor, and they can see everything. They can see me. They can see what I'm doing. They can see right out the window. They can see out the front. They can see out the back, the side, at any point. And then they'll watch it a couple times so that they can see the different things that are happening.
Cool.
So I recommend getting one. Just don't get the one I got because it's. I would, if I could go back, I'd get the other one. I don't want to mention names because I don't want to blast companies, but
Oh man. New lane. A better way.
that's not it. That's not at all. That's
I don't know. I don't know the lyrics to this song, but I tried.
close.
How did that finish with Rick?
You said da 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 better way.
Yeah.
Definitely go back and watch that later.
What did I miss?
I was walking in singing "Shot Through the Heart," and I kind of trailed off. And when I come back, they're laughing because apparently Rick made up his own lyrics.
We are back. Reason to check out the YouTube stream after the show. There's plenty of stuff that you miss on the LRN feed. We have lots of fun on the commercial breaks.
Just doing a little karaoke over the. Yeah, we actually have a really awesome a cappella group, the four of us, that we do at like bar mitzvahs and stuff. So
Yeah,
that's why you got that.
I'm Scott Marshall. Look me up.
Yep. Speaking of Scott Marshall, I am Matthew Taylor of Carbon County Cop Block.
I'm Severin Freeman from Lehigh Valley Cop Block.
Scott Marshall, Oath Accountability Project.
And your local bar mitzvah.
And Rick Gonzalez from Allentown Cop Block. Welcome back to the show.
What's up, guys? So when we cut out, we were talking about our. What were we talking about when we cut out? We kind of just continued that right through.
Our famous corporal.
Yeah, you said that you didn't think that he knew that there were more of you guys filming.
Oh, he definitely didn't. He could only see Rick from where he was sitting. And in that car, there's no way he could have seen behind him to us because we were both wearing black cop blocks, standing in the dark parking lot, filming back because Rick was up in the front position. We always take different positions when we go out cop blocking so that we can cover each other. But he
you were in front.
He did not see your junior at all. And he was aggressing toward Rick. I think my thought is that he was planning on grabbing Rick and roughing him up a little bit and then throwing him in the car on some trumped-up charges. And
it kind of looked that way because he got out and his demeanor was really aggressive, and he brought it back down just a little bit.
It's almost as
he
if
saw you guys.
The camera was rolling, but couldn't see 100% of what was happening, so he was trying to narrate something that wasn't happening.
Mm-hmm.
So that the camera could be fooled, but he didn't realize there was a camera on the whole entire scene behind him.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was yelling at Rick, "Get away from me! Get away from my shoulder!" Well, maybe he could have jumped out and roughed Rick up, and to the video, to the viewer later, it looked like, oh, Rick was out of line.
And especially if he says the right shoulder, because guess what's sitting on his right side?
Yep.
Is weapon.
Oh, I didn't even consider that.
Yep.
Wow. That was pre-planned. He did do this before.
Well, doesn't he have himself a nice little speckled past?
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. When I was.
But before we do that, why don't we continue on with what he actually did to Rick? Because we haven't gotten even to that part yet.
Yeah.
Yes, as he continued to bark orders at me to get back over where he wanted me to stand, I chose to ignore him. So he decides to physically put his hand on my chest and with force, shove me back, almost knocking me down. You can see it in the video. I almost fell back if I didn't catch my balance. And
at that point, I was furious. At that point, I got loud. And I said, "Excuse me, you just put your hands on him. I want your badge number right now. I want to know who you are."
I'm not gonna lie. For everybody who hasn't seen this video, you should go watch it because Severin roasts the fuck out of this cop. He really does. He hammers him right then and there. So you should definitely check this video out because
I was pretty angry.
Yeah.
At that point, he put his hands on Rick. I was afraid for all of our safety. He had when Rick said, "I'm going to file a complaint on you," he aggresses toward Rick again and says, "I'll put you in the back of that car right now."
Yeah, and then he was like, you guys were like, it's our right to film. And he's like, well, I don't care about you guys filming, but your boy here.
Yeah.
He makes sure to call Rick your boy. And Severin fires back and is basically like, he's not my boy, he's a United States citizen.
Yeah, I know many places where that would not have flown at all, at all, not even a little bit, like boy, like no, and he knew exactly what he was saying, that he just,
boy.
It was it was so pejorative, it just you could hear the hate.
Yeah, he definitely had
For
a hate in his heart.
For what? Just for videotaping,
Yep.
And I was surprised during that encounter that he actually admits that he's just concerned about his own safety.
Yeah,
not the trust of the people.
Yep.
I said to him as he's getting in his car, "This is why the public mistrusts you." And he said, "I don't care about the public's trust. All I care about is officer safety."
No, he says
he didn't
my
say
safety.
my safety. He doesn't even say officer safety. He says my safety. From his mouth, what he said is the only reason why he puts on a badge, like how it breaks down, is the only reason he puts on a badge is to protect himself.
And you asked him to repeat it, and he just sat there and he was like, "Whoa, shit, wait, what did I just say?"
Yeah.
That's not good.
And to add icing to the cake, when he goes, as he's getting ready to leave, he puts his car in drive, turns around and says, all cocky like, "Now you guys all have a nice day." And Rick yells to him, "I'm going to your sergeant right now to file." And he says, "Go ahead, file 20 of them." Ha ha ha, and drives off.
I'm sorry, what was that sound? Does one of you have a chihuahua that's barking?
No.
There was a small talk somewhere.
Well, we decided at that point that the night needed to end, either end right there or whatever. There was no chance we were going to drive around with this footage all night long. We headed straight to my house and uploaded this footage and put it out immediately. And the response has been overwhelmingly in our favor. And because of the response, we have gotten tipped off to what this cop is actually about. This cop has been all over the news in the past. He's been suspended twice. He's a wife beater. He is a former addict, it seems, because he went through some sort of drug and alcohol treatment and some sort of high case involving the police in his rookie years. So this guy's a dangerous guy, really. He broke into his ex-wife's house and beat up her new man in their living room.
Yeah.
He does not give a shit. This guy doesn't care.
Nope, he's playing by the Wild West rules.
I mean, both. I put both you and Rick's videos on Reddit's "Bad Cop No Donut," and they both hit the front page, up near the top.
Wow, yeah, it's
Rick's
bad.
Rick's angle actually got Rick's angle got number 2 on the front page. So
Nice.
Damn, Rick.
Good. I'm glad it's taken off. We put it on every channel and let it take off like that because we want people to see it. We want people to see what this is. See what these guys that you're out there defending these guys, you cop suckers. This is what they think of you. They don't care about you. They don't care about anybody but themselves.
I mean, somebody even posted everybody's email address: the chief of police, the captain, the township manager. I mean,
well, I had already emailed everybody. I emailed everybody before the night was over. It was 6 a.m. I was laying in bed emailing everybody on the Township West with that video, saying with that video with an attachment of the old news article showing his suspensions and showing that he beat up his ex, and a question saying, why did my friend need to be harassed by this officer? Why did he have a badge? And not one out of 100 emails almost, not one has responded yet.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a fucking shame that a guy like that is running around in the streets. He's a danger to the fucking public, and he needs to be off the streets right away.
Well, we're going to do what we have to do tomorrow. Me and Rick have an appointment with the captain there. He's second in command right underneath the chief of police. And this guy handles internal affairs, and I called him saying, I'm not coming in there to file a complaint without a scheduled appointment and without a guarantee that I'm meeting someone because we've already been threatened.
Yes.
So the knowledge that we're going there tomorrow at 1 o'clock p.m., Bethlehem Township Building, if something happens to Rick or I while we're there, this has now been known to everyone, including all of Cop Block's readers since I put it out.
Yep. And now all of LRN.
Yep. So we'll be there tomorrow morning. Let's see how the captain handles this.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like a mature adult.
Yeah.
There's so few of them that wear that badge.
Rick, you had a statement that you were typing up today. Did you finish that up?
No, I haven't even got back on it yet.
Make sure you're done that morning because there was some good advice thrown out there that you don't want to sit down and have a talking interview that they record because they're good at twisting your words.
Yep.
Yeah, so basically I'm just thinking about, listen, I'm just going to tell them, listen, watch the video. The video don't lie. It speaks for itself. Plain and simple. I don't even have to say anything.
This is my complaint. Here's the video. What,
and somebody on Facebook already threw the link in there on their Facebook page so they could see it.
Yeah, well, I've been blocked from that page for ages, but we're cutting to a commercial break. We're going to take our long break, and we're going to come back with a little bit of militarization. Why is the military walking our streets and even in our schools calling themselves police and safety? We're going to find out and address it when we come back. This is Cop Block Radio.
Cop Block Radio, long break.
Long break. Play the commercials because I'm going to get up and...
Yeah,
I'm gonna... Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta do a few things.
All right.
See you on the flip.
When do we come back?
11:06.
All right.
Free State Project and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
More Cop Block Radio is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keenan, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, June 8th, 2016. Silver is trading at $16.85 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,255 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $583. Antiwar.com reports, speaking Tuesday on the ongoing Syrian civil war, President Bashar al-Assad insisted that with the most recent round of peace talks ending unsuccessfully, the only option that is open for the Syrian government is to win the war militarily. Assad blamed much of the fighting, particularly in the north, on Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, whom he declared a fascist in the speech before parliament, a declaration that sparked thunderous applause. Assad vowed that Aleppo would be the graveyard where the hopes and dreams of the butcher Erdogan will be buried. Though Syria and Turkey were allies before the civil war, the Erdogan government almost immediately backed the rebellion, with Turkish officials believing a win by the Arab-dominated rebels would lead to a crackdown on Syrian Kurdish separatists. The U.S. State Department dismissed the speech as meaningless and demanded that Assad immediately step down and allow a political transition, presumably to install the U.S.-backed rebel factions as the new government. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the Department of Homeland Security is planning more covert security checks of the Transportation Security Administration at airports throughout the nation this summer, according to the department's top inspector. DHS Inspector General John Roth told members of the Senate's Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee that his office is developing testing methods and that the checks will take place during the peak travel season. The round of tests will come 1 year after a report revealed that screeners missed detecting fake bombs and weapons 95% of the time. The test also follows scrutiny from the media in recent weeks over long lines at security checkpoints at major airports that have caused hundreds of people to miss their flights. Roth said, as a result of our audit reports, TSA is now, for the first time in memory, critically assessing its deficiencies in an honest and objective light. TSA Administrator Peter Neffinger, who took over the agency last summer, told legislators that passenger safety remains the agency's #1 priority in the wake of persistently evolving threats from terrorist groups around the world. Beefed up security includes more canine teams and additional airports with full-body scanners. Senator Tom Carper of Delaware, the ranking member of the committee, noted the difficulty the agency faces in trying to be both careful and efficient. Neffinger said he is on the lookout for any problems, adding that the TSA screens more than 2 million passengers every day. If you're fed up with the government running every aspect of your life, but you're not listening to the Lava Flow podcast yet, what's wrong with you? Go right now to thelavaflow.com/listen. The Lava Flow podcast, channeling the flow of information to the libertarian, anarcho-capitalist, voluntarist, and agorist community. Subscribe today using any podcatcher at thelavaflow.com/listen, or just go back to sucking up to the government. The Lava Flow podcast, striking the root every episode. Reuters reports the District of Columbia City Council approved a $15 per hour minimum wage on Tuesday, a rate adopted by a growing number of U.S. cities and states seeking to battle income inequality. The City Council voted unanimously to pass the measure, boosting the minimum hourly wage to $15 by 2020, with subsequent hikes tied to inflation. A final vote will come later this month, and Democratic Mayor Muriel Bowser has backed the bill. Once approved, the U.S. Capitol will join the states of California and New York in making $15 the hourly minimum. At least 8 cities, including Seattle, have also approved the $15 minimum wage. The $15 minimum wage is estimated to raise wages for 114,000 workers, or about 14% of the District of Columbia's workforce, according to an analysis for the council by the nonprofit Economic Policy Institute. The higher pay proposal was supported by unions, but was opposed by the district's Chamber of Commerce. Restaurant owners and the local restaurant association said that higher costs would lead to layoffs. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Overburdened with material comforts, America's wealthy can expect another disappointing holiday this year. As Brian Scott tells us, the rich will simply be buying too many things to experience the true meaning of Christmas.
All across the country, those at the top of the economic ladder are denied a privilege that the poorest of the poor take for granted. Rather than fall victim to the rampant consumerism that seems to increase each year, the poor find meaningful joy in simple Christmas traditions, like singing carols to keep warm and hugging relatives who have not yet died. At stores like these, the spiritually bereft must scramble for popular holiday toys in a vain attempt to duplicate the Christmas-time happiness that the impoverished enjoy.
Poor people are grateful for just a roof over their heads and something to eat. My wife and I are both lawyers, so that's not enough for us. Certainly hope poor people don't take what they don't have for granted.
This is the Onion News Network.
Yeah, we're back from our commercial break. This is Freeman from Lehigh Valley Cop Block.
What's up, Severin? I am Matt of Carbon County Cop Block.
I'm Scott Marshall of the Oath Accountability Project.
I'm Rick Gonzalez, Allentown Cop Block.
Yeah, so welcome everybody to the second half of the show. Severin, you wanted to talk about Brian, didn't you?
Yeah, Brian Sumner, Cop Block contributor out of Fresno, California.
Yeah, he's on our show here and there. We've had some good talks with him. Some of our frequent listeners would definitely
Before we jump into Brian Sumner, hold on, guys. Are we forgetting our biggest segment of the night?
Are we?
Douchebag of the week. Come on, guys. Douchebag of the week.
Douchebag of the week. Douchebag of the week.
All right, who made Douchebag of the Week?
DBOTW.
Let me make Douchebag of the week. Douchebag of the week.
Ooh.
I like that. I like that.
I do believe that badge number 616. Corporal Chabowski of the Bethlehem Township Police Department, hopefully soon formerly of the Bethlehem Township Police Department. Corporal Chabowski is a wife beater, a crack smoker, and a cop block abuser. So he definitely makes Cop Block Douchebag of the Week.
Douchebag of the week.
Go fuck yourself, Corporal.
Rick just comes right out and says it. He's gonna go fuck yourself. I want to give a special thanks and a shout out in studio because I know Ian Freeman, who broadcasts us, is definitely listening and trying his best to edit us as well as he can. So I want to give a shout out to him because I'm sorry, we're just cursing like sailors on you tonight.
Oh, he don't care. He don't edit us.
No? Cool.
As is. It's up to the places that are broadcasting us to edit.
Oh, hey, well, all you people out there, do your jobs.
Ian gets to sit back and laugh.
Yeah, we are so fucking sorry.
Yeah, the rest of you guys, do your jobs. You're getting paid. Go fuck yourselves. No, I'm joking. So, anyways. Brian Sumner.
Headline reads, motion to dismiss instantly granted in cop block recycling case. Last year, he was stopped and ticketed by Fresno police for riding his bicycle on a sidewalk. This has been a year-going thing with him and taken up a lot of money. They used it to perform a warrantless search of him. Reading through. Well, the long story short of it, anybody who's followed Cop Block probably knows about this arrest. It was a year ago. They wasted money. They went to court. They wasted all this time. And Brian filed a motion to dismiss, and it was granted almost instantly when he went into court this past week.
Good.
So yay to justice. Yet the judge being willing to admit.
Well, you know what? No, I don't even think that. I don't even think justice can be served here, or said that it was served because.
Yeah, well, no, not at all, because everybody in that room was paid that day except Brian. Brian had to lose a lot of days because.
Right, and also it was all paid for on the back of the taxpayer. So and obviously it came down to bullshit. Okay, you're having way too much fun with sound effects tonight.
Joke's on us, guys. Joke's on us. Even when we win, we lose. But they don't care. But you know what? I don't consider it a total loss because the world got to see the story. People now know this story and know of another case where money was wasted, their own tax dollars that are stolen from them, and wasted on this garbage.
Yeah, and people often forget the power of the court of public opinion
Yeah.
because that's sometimes I feel like that's just as, if not more effective.
That's true.
Did we talk about speaking of public opinion? Did we talk about my Alabama Police Department yet?
No, we haven't.
I actually meant to touch on that in police encounters because I personally called them and was threatened with arrest.
Oh
So
yeah.
it kind of falls into police encounters.
Well, hold up. You can't just dangle the bait in front of everybody and not tell them, give them any context to that. Why don't you fill us in a little bit on that?
The Wichita, Alabama Police Department, however the hell they want to pronounce that, is
Podunk, Podunk. Yeah, we'll just call this Podunk, Alabama.
Yeah. Do you have the story up in front of you?
I'm loading it up right now.
It was originally reported on by PENAC, but I saw the story and talked with Carlos Miller and said, like, look, we got to get this out everywhere. This is crazy. A man in Alabama that does First Amendment audits, his name is, he goes by the YouTube handle Bama Camera. His name is Keith, but he goes by Bama Camera. He was out doing a First Amendment audit of this police department, just standing outside filming the department. The cops came, harassed him, forced him to turn off this camera, but he had a backup camera rolling that caught everything that occurred. They forced him to submit to a search. They forced him to identify himself by going through his pockets. They violated him totally 100% and then said he could be a terrorist as the reason.
Yep.
Well, this hit PINAC's readers and they went nuts. And they called nonstop to the point that the phone lines got shut down. They decided at this police department, too many complaints are coming in. They shut down the phone lines and the police department's Facebook page. Well, it gets worse. Not only did they do this, but they targeted the man that filmed the original audit, went and arrested him the day after PINAC published their article, and said that he intentionally disrupted the emergency communication system for the police.
Wait, hold on. He posted a public non-emergency number.
Correct.
And that is, anybody can look up and find on the internet on his video, and now he's culpable for a bunch of people calling.
Not only culpable, facing up to 10 years in prison.
Holy.
Major felony charges were hit on this guy. He managed to bond out, but it's insane. They turn around and targeted this guy and then shut down their own phone so that you can't even call and complain about it. When you call their police department right now, no joke, the message you will hear says this call line is currently down. If you have an emergency, hang up and dial 911. And that's what the entire city hall has coming back to you, except for the mayor's office. So I called the mayor's office today and demanded to speak with somebody in charge because they can't avoid the public's opinion. Well, I was greeted with an attitude. The woman defended the cop and said, well, what was he supposed to do? Their safety matters. And I said, well, what is your name? And she hung up on me. So I called back and spoke to another woman who kept saying, are you familiar with Alabama crime code such and such, such, da, da, da? I was like, I don't care about your crime code. Are you aware that you're trying to silence the public and you are paid by them? Who do you people think you are? Well, by the time I got off the phone, they said that they had my phone number, they had me recorded, and that my local police are going to be coming and charging me with harassment. I told her to go fuck herself and hung up on her.
Bring it on.
Yep.
That's exactly what I did. Bring it on. Oh, please. I just grabbed my camera, sat on my couch and chilled and watched a movie. Just like, okay, please let my local cops get this phone call and say that this is something they're going to pursue.
Yeah, I would have had a camera sitting one behind the door, one facing right out the window, like getting all angles.
Yeah, well,
with a sign on my door saying you are being recorded.
I knew it was a bluff because my first thing that I said was I am a member of the public and I need to I deserve to be heard. They cannot try to charge me with harassment because they hung up on me.
Right.
I didn't get my complaint out. I didn't even hear the person's name that I was talking to. If
Right.
any, they're the ones that are committing some sort of infraction by not doing their job and providing the public with a service.
Damn you, Sheila.
Yeah, so I wasn't worried about it at all. But these guys are out of hand. The story will be in the show notes. It's up at copblock.org. Check this out. Get involved in the calls to this lovely mayor's office. Tell them what you think, because you have a right to. We'll be right back with more Cop Block Radio.
Cop Block Radio.
Cop Block Radio.
Yeah, sorry to jump back like that, but I just realized we didn't hit on that story, and
No, it was cool.
I had posted that on the radio show page as a teaser.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
All right.
Okay, so what are we going to come back with?
Yeah, let's see what we're going to actually touch on tonight.
Oh, this is the actual discussion.
All right, we're going to drop the last two stories.
Yeah,
no,
why not?
I think we should, but we'll not drop them yet. We still have Cell 411 story that's really important to hit on. I told them that we would talk about it, at least.
That's fine. We'll talk about that, and then we'll roll into the discussion piece.
But off the discussion was supposed to come that story about the school.
Okay, so then we'll sneak that in the final segment.
Here, why don't we do this? Why don't we come back with Cell 411, roll into the teenagers, and then it'll probably bring us into a whole new segment for the discussion.
Which teenagers? The guy shows fuck Trump sign?
The 1106.
The 1106. Oh, I see it. Okay.
It's if you see what that story consists of, it really flows into our conversation perfectly.
Okay.
And then that'll probably lead us right into the end of the show then.
Okay.
All right, so do you...
I'm trying to. I've got the Cell 411 story up.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I'll pitch the shit out of Cell 411.
Yeah,
I've got it up too.
Just get the story out there with what just happened at this big announcement.
Yep.
And then I'll roll into the next story because I've already read up on this.
Yeah, no problem.
Sweet. It's the professionalism.
Yep.
The professionalism.
I'm gonna play a commercial because we have 2 minutes left.
At updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at Credit and Success Secrets Revealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was
So I'm
time
going to bring us back then.
your nerves. You didn't get the approval you seek. There's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine. You can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to CreditSuccessSecretsRevealed.com.
Listen to LRN.FM on any phone, anytime. 641-546. That's 641-552-5046.
So, welcome back to Cop Block Radio. I am Matt Taylor of Carbon County Cop Block.
I am Severin Freeman from Lehigh Valley Cop Block.
I am Scott Marshall of the Oath Accountability Project.
Rick Gonzalez, Allentown Cop Block.
So, guys, we talk all the time about Cell 411, not only on this show, but then also over on Mondays night's Cop Blast podcast, which is hosted by myself, Scott, and Rick. We talk about Cell 411 all the time, and the reason why is because it's an astounding project that was started off in Columbus, Ohio, as basically an emergency management system for your local community. It was a Kickstarter that made its way all the way up to $2.5 million in donations.
It's an alternative to 911.
Absolutely. Well, now it's even coming to the point where it's going to start releasing the app in non-English speaking countries, which
I
is
think
really
they already did. I know that. Actually, a funny fact about the app: it's more used outside the United States than it is inside.
Yeah, it's actually really, really popular in South Africa, and what's
Which
really
is amazing. That's like that area is riddled by like crime and kidnapping.
right. Well, you know,
And
for
they're
those
using the app to battle that. That's an awesome thing.
right, and for those of you who don't know what the app is, it's an app that allows users to live stream video, create neighborhood group watches, and organize themselves into decentralized units, which allows for easy policing and response to community needs, whatever they may be. So it's really cool, but then also now they're going to be releasing another version of it, which is going to be called Control Room. And that's actually aimed at commercial clients such as universities, insurance companies, security firms, loan workers, or other potential clients that need real-time information in case their client requests some help. So it's expanding to becoming this really awesome network that you can basically set up to have with just a couple people to everyone you know, just so people know what's going on. And I really like it because it's showing that there's an alternative to just picking up the phone and calling 911 because you have an issue.
Absolutely.
So, and it works really well for us cop blocking because it allows us to be able to put out alerts, live stream what's going on.
You missed the really big part about that announcement, though, is that Cell 411 being an independent corporation that's no way connected to any government assistance program or anything like that, just received a $2.5 million donation to expand its base like this.
Yeah.
Like, that's an incredible thing. Somebody said, hey, this is a major thing, and they want to put money on it. And that's just the beginning of the stuff that's happening with Cell 411. Like, this is really getting recognized nationwide now.
Yeah.
Not nationwide, internationally wide. Like, it's really,
Worldwide.
they're putting it in a museum over... I can't remember what European country, but they just put it up for a museum in this technology museum. They put it up to be displayed as like one of the things that are breaking as far as like advancing the human race.
Yeah, and I mean it's awesome. There's it's basically this is just a really cool app that is really changing the game, and power to these guys. I'm happy that they're doing this because I mean it helps right around the block to on the other side of the world. It's helping people everywhere, and that's what really needs to happen.
You know what this means, right?
Huh?
911's going out of business.
We're a little bit away from that, but you know what? It's apps like this. What?
We're far away from that, but we're one step closer with this.
Right. It's apps like this and stuff like this that's actually going to moves us forward. Even if it's just one step, it moves us forward.
Absolutely. Well, hats off.
Absolutely.
Go to your app store or iPhone or Android store and get it. It is free. Set up a network with your friends. Seriously, this is going to be changing the world, and you can get in, and it's free. So we got another story that I wanted to jump over to that really inspired me. this week while I was reading Cop Block's website.
It inspired you.
Yeah, it really feels good to read this story.
Okay.
Teenagers in a school in Los Angeles protested and fought and really raised hell against the police that patrolled their schools. It seems that the campus police were using military weapons, including M16 rifles, grenade launchers, and the various other handguns and other kinds of weaponry to guard a school.
That's not overkill.
Yeah, the insanity of that is just despicable. I mean,
Like, did anybody special go to this school? Like, maybe like the president's kids or anybody, or were they just, you know?
oh, this is a Los Angeles public school.
Is it just like, was it a very like dangerous zone, or did they just decide, you know what, it's not going to happen here? like, what was their motivation?
I mean, how does any police department get this stuff? How does any police department go to a level? They do it gradually. They don't say, hey, we need missile launchers. They say, hey, we need bigger guns. And hey, we need this. And hey, this car will protect us. And it just so happens this car is a giant Bearcat assault rifle or assault vehicle.
And I'm not even fucking with you. I hope that everybody here has seen the movie Tremors. Has everybody seen the movie Tremors, the horror movie with the giant worms? You're gonna see where I'm going with this.
It's been a while, but
okay. So you remember the gun nut, the guy that just had every fucking thing that he possibly could? Okay, there is at least one guy like that on every police force, and it's that guy who walks in, who has figured out who they have to put an order or a request into, and they just put it down in front of the sergeant, and it's just like, yo. And, you know, it's a bro moment. They're like, all right, I'll send it. Because, I mean, once they put in that request, I mean, that shit comes. It's retarded.
How did they, like, I don't know how it started, though, but anyway...
It was exactly how it started.
Took it upon themselves, mostly made up of black and Latino students in the era of Ferguson, were just decided that no, not now, not our school. We are not going to stand by and allow this. And they protested like hell, and they organized. That's the biggest thing they did. They didn't just complain. They got active. And they organized a respected group that got some media attention that made this Los Angeles Police Department look like the insane people that they were. These are children at a school. What do you need? What do you possibly need a grenade launcher for? Well, they won. They won. The kids won. They managed to hit this school so hard in the public spotlight that public records were opened up to an unprecedented new level, where the students were even granted access to every single gun that the police department owned and records to them. They were granted everything by the end, and everything that was militarized had to be given back and itemized one at a time. We'll be right back with more Cop Block Radio.
Cop Block Radio.
Cop Block Radio.
So I guess that's gonna be the outro for when we go into commercial.
Yeah, why aren't you joining in, Rick?
All right, I'll do it next commercial.
Yo, we gotta put it all into it though, like acapella group.
Cop Block Radio.
Radio. Show.
I'm gonna go opera style with it.
Yeah.
I need a harmonica, you know, just beep, Cop Block Radio.
Yeah,
Cop Block Radio. That's too much.
Yeah,
no.
I think we just lost like all of our viewers. Is that?
Yeah, we're gonna do none of this.
Yeah, that was a really bad idea. I apologize to all the viewers.
Rick, you officially killed the internet. No one wants to anymore.
That was almost on par with falling asleep.
Oh man. I can't believe that actually happened, man.
Yo, that was my favorite video I have ever taken. and put online. I'm not even gonna lie.
It was weird because when the phone rang and I heard people talking and the phone's ringing and you know how you just wake up and you got all this shit
No
going
idea where
on.
the fuck you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I had no idea where I was at. I was in a nice, I don't even know if I was in a nice dream, but I know I woke up with a lot of drama going on. Phones ringing and people saying the cops are coming and
Fire.
the fire and so yeah, I was pretty out of it, not knowing what the hell was going on. But that was a fun night.
I'm gonna find that video. I'm gonna edit, and I'm gonna put it online. Wait, I think it's already edited. Yeah.
Or it is? I don't even
Yep.
know.
Yeah, I live streamed that.
Oh. Oh man. Actually, did you see the live stream when it started, Sev?
Why are we stuck on Rick?
I don't know. Hang on. I'll be right.
Okay, now we're not.
I
stuck on
hate
Rick.
that. I'm the ugliest motherfucker in this group
No.
right here.
Rick,
But you know what,
the
Rick?
star of our calendar.
Yeah, right. And Rick,
Matt
ang-
looks like he's going to his bar mitzvah. All he needs is a yarmulke.
it's there in my hair. Rick, angle your camera up just a little bit because when you're sitting there talking normally, it's just nose down, and honestly, people are just gonna be like, "Yo, is that Rick Gonzalez or Joe Pesci?"
Man,
Rick, what did I say when I was over your house the other day?
I can't remember. Something
Yeah.
about Joe Pesci. I gotta get
Hey,
one of
Matt,
this-
you know the
Yeah.
habanero or habanero or whatever the heck the Jewish celebration song is?
I don't think it's habanero. I think that's a pepper, but okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The one that they're always singing at weddings and stuff. Do you know it?
No, because I'm not Jewish.
Why are you wearing this shirt?
You look Jewish.
What do you mean? Why am I wearing this shirt? This is a
Yeah,
shirt.
what are you
That was
doing wearing that shirt?
The first
Very
time I
Jewish
met
shirt.
Matt, I thought he was Jewish.
Y'all
honestly.
You look
racist.
like he's representing some.
I was saying to myself, great, I get to go cop blocking with a Jew.
You kind of look like Ari Shafir. You kind of look like Ari Shafir.
Well, I mean, if I can start making good financial decisions, I'll switch over to
the bad
Judaism.
guy that became the lawyer that represents the bad guys now.
So I'm small.
All right, we just came back from our commercial break.
Apparently, I'm a Jewish lawyer.
This is Severin Freeman from Lehigh Valley Cop Block.
This is Matt Taylor of Carbon County Jewish Law Firm.
I'm Scott Marshall of the Accountability Project.
Rick Gonzalez, Allentown Cop Block. Hi, they.
We just totally fell apart, guys. I don't know how did we do that? Like we went from police accountability to Matt as a Jewish lawyer.
It's just, it was just slow progression.
For those listening, you can go to the YouTube and watch that because that was a pretty funny commercial break.
I kind of got roasted.
We're back, and coming off that last story, you know, the cops bringing militarization into the school, weapons like that. You know, I just it really makes you think. Like that's a big extreme that you wouldn't think would happen. But why is this becoming a norm that police departments around the country are militarizing themselves? Are they preparing for something? Is there like why is this becoming okay? Why is regular like I don't know, hostile people being met with a Bearcat and assault rifles at their homes?
Now, and I thought there was something in the Constitution about no standing armies. I mean, what would you call that? I mean, if you put a picture of them if you put a picture of them in riot gear next to a picture of people that are overseas, like fighting, you can't tell the difference. It's hard to tell the difference.
I have a crazy story that just happened while me and Rick were out, actually. We forgot to touch on this one, too. See, I told you I'd forget them all. But this goes right along with this, okay? We were listening to the police scanner. There's a call around the corner that a woman said that she was threatened with a gun The person who threatened her is long gone, and she wants to file a report. She informs the 911 operator that she has a legal handgun. When those cops arrived to that house, we got there first before the cops. We were that close.
Yes.
Those cops arrived to that house with assault rifles drawn, dude. Like these crazy guns that were small in the back of the car. They pulled them out.
M4s, M16s.
Dude, this little woman, like this single housewife looking lady, answers the door looking terrified to armed people with these huge guns just because she said, I have a legal firearm. I just think it's my responsibility to let the police know before they come here that I do have a firearm. They came with guns drawn like that. That is what we're dealing with on our streets. There was somebody walking their dog on that corner watching these cops roll up to this house.
Yeah, like how embarrassing does that have to be, like for your neighbors and stuff? Like yeah, I saw a SWAT team roll into your place yesterday. Would you have like a armed hostage situation? Oh no, somebody robbed me, and the cops just decided to roll up like that.
So what do you think the motivation is behind this? Like what do you think was the key factor that allowed this to happen?
Big budgets, big budgets, big budgets. You know, we need a bigger budget. We need to hire more cops. We need an excuse to spend this money. We need to spend more money, spend more money.
What do you do when you have piles and piles of money and nowhere to do? Like, if they don't spend the money, they don't get as much next year.
I mean, what happens when you have companies that make these weapons that are donating to these Congress people that put these laws into effect that put these guns in the hands of the cops? I mean, that's how the cycle works. So, you know, they need more guns. They need more guns. Okay, well, we'll buy them. Buy them from this guy. You know, he's a good friend. You know. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like greed has a lot to play into this, not only in the police department but even higher up, because you know this is all stuff that was bought and paid for on money that was basically loaned out. And so now they're trying to recuperate as much of that as possible, but selling it at a lower price back to the taxpayer to try to recuperate some of the losses that they made to take out this loan. And what they're doing is that well, no, when they do this, they're then turning around and they're putting their weaponry, their shit, in every single backyard that they possibly can. And like Scott said, they're creating a standing army. They're turning around and they're not exactly training people with this equipment that they're putting into their hands. So when they come into a situation that could have easily been talked down, they're more inclined to pull out their fancy new toy, like you just explained.
I mean,
they're more inclined to do that than they are to try to even bring in the human element anymore. They rely on their bullshit.
You see this clear example of that with the Ferguson thing. You see the cops walking around pointing these assault rifles at people, and you talk to some of these, war vets, and they say, you never do that. You never do that when you're over there, because that's just, if you're pointing a gun at somebody, you better be, prepared to shoot them. And, that's what they're doing over there, or that's what they were doing. They're walking around pointing guns at people like, what?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Okay, I don't understand how they're getting this bill by. And I'm not talking like bill law. Bill, as far as this is not a small amount of money. Each one of these guns is like tens of thousands of dollars, and they have arsenals of them. Each one of these vehicles is like $500,000. And my local police department, I know, has 3 assault vehicles underneath their police department. 3 huge assault vehicles. That's $1.5 million at least.
I think that what started all of this
come from.
You don't think that the people that buy this, that sign off on these orders, you don't think that they get the kickbacks from these companies that make this stuff? That say, oh, we'll spend some taxpayer money and then we'll give a little back to you.
Well, it's all done through firms. I mean, it's not like it's the government selling this to the police departments. They can't have that. So what they're doing is they're having companies along the lines of like Halliburton, which is able to go and pick this equipment back up and then buffer it off into another firm that turns around and sells this stuff at a bulk price, bulk rate, so they get so it's a less of a buy. So you're talking about $500,000. It's $500,000 when it's built new, but when it comes back over here, they're selling these things for like $95,000 to $120,000 for a Bearcat and things like that. We did a story on it probably about 6 months ago on this show where we were talking about a
But
small ass town in Wisconsin buying like
doesn't
120,000.
doesn't the federal government end up picking up that bill anyways through
Oh
grants? Like
yeah.
they apply for a grant, then they get the grant, and then they buy it with the grant.
Yep.
But can anybody on this show pinpoint a time frame where like something passed in Congress that allowed them to petition to get these? It hasn't been.
There was a bill. There actually was a bill.
2006,
Military. I'll look it up here.
Yeah,
It
I
was-
want to say it was between 2006 and 2009.
Man, a bad idea, guys. What the hell were they thinking?
Well, like I said, they have all this stuff that's over there, and they're already getting into some shit, obviously, for leaving stuff. So they're trying to get they're
It's the
getting
1033
some of it
program.
out. Yeah, they're trying to get some of it out to be able to recuperate some of the losses because you don't have a big enough standing army over there for all the equipment that's there.
Here we go. The 1033 program was created by the National Defense Authorization Act of fiscal year 1997 as part of the U.S. government's Defense Logistics Agency Disposition Service to transfer excess military equipment to civilian law enforcement agencies.
Sponsored by Halliburton or somebody that works with them. Like
They've transferred 5.1 billion in military hardware to the Department of Defense from the Department of Defense to local and law enforcement agencies since 1997.
And Rick and I actually, I don't know if you guys ever saw this documentary. Rick and I went and saw a documentary not too long ago, a few months back, about this. Remember when we went to Philly to go see that movie?
Yeah, the opening of that movie.
Yeah, I forget exactly what it was called, but it was a documentary based on SWAT teams and raids and the militarization of police, and it was just eye-opening and stunning to watch these former cops speak out against this stuff.
Yeah.
I think the man that started SWAT was actually on that documentary, talking about when he started it, it wasn't supposed to be like a militarized, thing.
Well, we're cutting to a commercial break. We're going to be right back, guys, with more Cop Block Radio and our final segment of the night. So stay tuned, or you might miss something fun. We'll be right back with more
Cop Block Radio.
Oh my God, we cannot do that anymore.
Yeah, we said we weren't going to do that. They just broke that word right there. Like, yeah, we're not going to do that. And then we all just became assholes.
Well, there's a whole slide from the Defense Logistics Agency's brochure. It says looking for a tactical vehicle, and then it's got pictures of tactical vehicles like that, like tanks and stuff.
Your local backwoods town police department, like, hey, you want a Bearcat? Only $10,000, only 20 more tickets, and it could be yours. Ugh.
Damn.
That shit's scary.
Obama signed Executive Order 13688 into law on May 2015, limiting and prohibiting certain types of equipment. The ACLU has raised concerns about the militarization of police forces in the U.S.
Well, yet again, that's not that I'm going to sit here and ever say Obama is an excellent president, but he's making a definite home stretch run that is approvable.
Yeah, he's like, what are you going to do, shoot me in my last year?
Yeah. It's like, I've done this for the last 7. I think if y'all were going to do something, you would have done it by now.
I mean, pardoning those people, I mean, he should pardon a lot more, but
yeah.
I mean, the people that he's pardoned, I mean, isn't it more than any other president or something like that?
Mm-hmm. So I got to be realistic and say this. It's not looking good for the Burnster.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, what story are we going to do?
I thought we were
The
finishing
NYPD
this
one.
up.
Oh, okay. I thought the NYPD one was pretty good.
Can somebody else bring it in?
It's the last one.
Yeah. Does somebody else read it off, though?
I guess I can.
I just saw the video. I didn't really read the article.
Well,
I
don't
didn't
we?
read the article or see
Well,
the video.
from what I read, I didn't read the whole thing. From what I read, it's this incident happened a while ago, and he put in grievances and information requests, and I guess the lawyer had them release the video, and then I guess he got a lawsuit after when they saw the video.
I mean, I don't know
They
anything about
they
this story,
broke
but I
into his
can. I
house.
Yeah,
can.
me neither.
Yeah, they broke in. They went into his house after they took the phone away, but he had a surveillance camera in his house that watched them go in and tore his place apart, searched through his apartment.
All right. Well, who's gonna read it or like sum it up?
Well, we got to finish up this segment that we're on
Yeah.
right now, so we got to wrap that and
We'll
get
wrap
this.
that,
So.
and then we have like a few more minutes.
Yeah, we got to make sure that we get our plugs in and everything. I'm gonna play a clock ticking when we need to start killing the other one. Like killing the story and getting to plugs.
Yeah, Rick, your video got 95% upvoted.
What does that mean?
Okay.
Upvoted? Well, you have upvotes and downvotes on Reddit, and it means 95% of the people voted for your video to move up the list.
Oh, I didn't know you could. Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's pretty
So
cool.
if you guys get a chance,
How
you
many?
can go in
I've
there and
already
put your
upvoted.
story. You guys should go in there, put your version of the story in there, and upvote it, and see if you can.
How many
get it.
upvotes does it have?
107.
Nice.
We are back. Our final segment. This is Severin Freeman, Lehigh Valley Cop Block.
This is Matthew Taylor of Carbon County Cop Block.
This is Scott Marshall of the Oath Accountability Project.
Rick Gonzalez, Allentown Cop Block.
And we are the Wonder Team.
We are the
Wonder Twin powers activate.
And we were talking about the militarization of police and just the absurdity of a standing army walking our streets and no one really holding them accountable.
Well, I mean, when you have a group of people that are using their force too excessively, I think the worst idea you could possibly have is to hand them more dangerous shit to hurt people with. Maybe you want to dial that back down. They seem to do a lot of damage with just handguns, so part of me really feels like all the rest of this shit is just really tempting disaster. Because there are way too many people who are going to see a grenade launcher and go, yeah, my cousin's got a shed, let's blow that shit up, let's give this a whirl, let's try that. And, you know, people get hurt, and then it turns around from even going to that to you have a stupid situation where maybe a drunk guy is locked himself in a room and they decide to use the grenade launcher to blow the door off and severely
They burned down, they burned down a city block.
One of the things that I learned in that documentary that was really scary and surprising to me was that part of the rules when they get this equipment is they have to show within a certain amount of time that they used this equipment.
Yep.
Be justified that they got this kind of grant from federal money and federal, like, all these weapons. They have to show that they actually needed them. So it pretty much puts these departments that take these in a position to use them in less than necessary circumstances.
Yep.
Yeah.
Such as someone locking themselves in their house and they blow the whole side of the house off.
Yeah,
Just they have to use the equipment.
Yeah, John Oliver did an excellent monologue on this topic, by the way, and he found a video of this this police department had this video on their Facebook page where they rolled in with the tank and there was like Slayer music playing and they all came out with their guns and it was like, what are you guys? Who do you think you are?
Honestly, it looked about as cheesy as what it would be like if you were basically being shown a team video because you just joined the freaking Philadelphia Eagles. So like, welcome to the Eagles, and this corny background music, that's exactly what it sounded like.
Dun, 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 dun,
Well,
dun, 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 dun,
but
dun.
then what's the solution at this point? We have police being better armed every day. That simple handgun at the side and shotgun in the car is no longer the standard. Their trunk is full of arsenals nowadays.
Not to mention the extremely dangerous taser that they have. Like most people don't
Yeah.
realize, like the how dangerous the taser really is. There are like police forces that won't use them because they know that it messes with your heartbeat. Like they say that it doesn't, but there's been studies and been proof in like court documents where even the taser company knows that it messes with your heartbeat.
Defibrillator on.
Well, think about this as well. Okay, 1/6 of the world's population has themselves some sort of pacemaker. Okay, so if that's 1/6 of the world's population that has some sort of electronical device that helps them with their
Did you say electronical? Is that a
Yeah.
word?
Yeah, electronical. Yeah. Yeah, and if it's not, I coined it. So, anyways, but they have a device that a taser can absolutely disrupt, and honestly, at times it feels like it's safer to have the shot because at least that's not going to stop your heart from beating if you're shot just on the fatty part of your leg.
Well, I don't know. We've all seen tons of cases where they're using the taser excessively, and that's why
Well,
somebody.
yeah. Think about like Lisa Merkel of the PA State Police who tasered that guy to where he was just basically twitching and then shot him.
Oh.
She was a fucked up, by the way. Fuck you, Lisa Merkel.
Fuck you, Lisa.
But anyways, we have another story that we have to jump into before we are.
Personally, real quick, I'd just like to say I'd rather get any taser shot if there's any cops listening that use my preference. If you're going to pull the trigger, I would prefer it be a taser. But I don't know. They are just deadly, and they have even more. They have stuff all the time.
I'll take the scar.
I think I'd rather be shot, because a bullet might go through you, but it's your heart. They mess with your heartbeat. I mean, if they shoot you through your heart, then yeah, that sucks. Or your head, then yeah, that sucks. But I don't know. It's just and that's that could be a topic for another show. But
I'd rather be not shot
there's
or
a really
tased.
there's a really interesting documentary on Netflix called Killing Them Safely. If anybody has Netflix and wants to check it out, I watched the whole thing. Even the Taser Corporation, those CEOs and people, they participated because they're like sociopaths or something. Like it's really weird.
Yeah.
We're just all pawns on a big chessboard being controlled by big corporations. I used to think people talked like that talked like that were like weirdos and just like conspiracy nuts, and I would disregard it. But yeah, there's some truth.
Yeah.
There's truth in that. There's other people controlling things, and we're not.
The cogs are far bigger and far more reaching than anybody can really imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
the machine is so intricate.
Somebody have another story they want to jump to right before we cut out?
Yeah, it's gonna have to be quick.
What about the guy with the F Trump sign?
Yeah. The guy in the full story will be in the show notes, or if you check it out at coplock.org. A guy shows a fuck Trump sign on his car. He was driving around, thought it was funny. Probably was. I would have laughed. Well, the police didn't think it was funny. His First Amendment right was thrown out the window when he got pulled over and ticketed for some stupid form of disorderly something. How does a sign get disorderly ticket go?
Hey, how does a sign put you in jail for 240 days? So,
Yeah.
I mean,
True story.
But
cops are criminalizing speech.
Yep, but as you said, the full story of that is going to be up on the show notes page found on copblock.org. So I definitely want to, before we get off here, I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but for those of you who missed it, definitely want you to go on your cell phone right after the show, right after you're done listening to us, and download Cell 411. It is going to become one hell of an app, and it already is. You can set up a network and contact your friends, let them know if you're injured or if you are cop blocking, need help. You can live stream a situation and set up a network to where everybody that you have in it has the ability to come to your aid using a GPS location. So, and it's great because it has absolutely nothing to do with any sort of government entity, so it's not going to be watching or tracking you or anything like that. So that is definitely an awesome awesome app, and guys, you should check it out. Severin, why don't you tell everybody where they can get Cop Block gear?
Come to the copblock.org/store. Get all your gear, the shirts, all that stuff. Copblock.org/store. Anything, any of the shirts you see tonight, bumper stickers for your car. I suggested 100%. My bumper stickers have gotten more cops than I can count to turn away from me. I'm sure of it.
And Scott, why don't you tell us where everybody can find you?
You can find me on YouTube. That's the Oath Accountability Project, and also on Facebook, Oath Accountability Project. You know, you got like 20-some videos, 360 cameras, so we're going to start having some really awesome videos, so check me out.
And you do another show, right?
Yeah, that would be Cop Blast Podcast. That is on Monday nights, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and that's with me, Matthew, and Rick.
Well, we want to thank you for definitely coming on. As always, I am Matt of Carbon County Cop Block.
I am Severin Freeman from Lehigh Valley Cop Block. Check it out on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter. We got tons of events coming up over the summer. Subscribe to those and get yourself some Cop Block gear. Get out here and join the fun.
Allentown Cop Block, Facebook and YouTube. Check me out, Rick Gonzalez.
We'll be back next week with more Cop Block Radio, guys. Thank you for tuning in. It's been fun.
Later, guys.
See ya.
Stay safe.
Thanks for having me.